So, Don't Hurt Me, My Healer. This anime was actually on my list of anime to watch for the spring 2022 season. And in this video, we're going to talk, should you watch it or not? Should you give it a chance? Should you give it your time? And my honest answer after watching episode number 1 is absolutely not. I'm actually very pleased and very happy that I actually did not go ahead and pursue this anime to be in my list of recurring anime that I cover here on the channel during the 2022 spring season, just because I really don't think that this anime was really that good, at least from what is showed us in episode number 1. So I just got done watching episode number 1, again, like I said, of Don't Hurt Me, My Healer. This episode was called In This World Where Monsters Are Rampant, and the anime follows a healer named Carla, and it also had another character named Alvin, who is this like a knight. He's basically like a knight, I don't know if he's a knight in training or what, but essentially he's just a knight. And it involves Carla, who is a healer who is trying to find somebody to form her first party with, essentially. And she is a healer of very unique traits and very unique personalities, and that is all cool. But the anime really centers around one thing, which is like comedy, I guess you could say. I think at least that's what it's trying to go for. But in all of what episode 1 was, is like none of the comedy really hit, none of the comedy really worked. And if the anime is going to be something to where each episode is like a self-contained story, like a self-contained skit, then I just think that episode 1 shows that they just couldn't pull it off. Like, episode number 1 was, again, very much focused around Carla stumbling upon Alvin, and Alvin was fighting with a bear, and the bear is going at him, and he ends up losing the fight, and she stumbles upon him, and he asks her for help, and the bear and him completely pause the fight, and he's like, are you gonna jump in? And she's like, I'll jump in, but you have to grovel first and ask me for help. And the bear is like, okay, we'll pause. Alvin's like, I'm gonna come back to you. And then the bear ends up being able to speak and ends up being a mediator between them. She ends up cursing him. They end up joining a party together. The bear, Alvin asks Carla her age. The bear gets mad, like, don't ever ask a lady her age. Totally just deletes Alvin, basically just massacres him. The bear takes it back to their bear house, and the healer ends up doing some kind of seance performance on Alvin and heals him. They end up, like, I think the probably the funniest moment, but I still didn't laugh in the anime, or in this episode of the anime, was when Carla put his face, quote unquote, put his face back together, and she was like, oh, I'm so sorry, I couldn't put it back the way it was. You look stupid now, blah, blah, blah. And it ends up being his actual face. And when I'm talking about it, it sounds generally funny, but in the moment, like, it just, like, I saw it, and I might have maybe, like, cracked like a smile or something of that nature, but I really didn't actually, like, laugh in any way, shape, or form. Then you had all the bear with, like, all the bear antics, and with all the Kumo antics and everything else, and, like, just none of it was hitting. And this doesn't mean that if you watch it necessarily that it won't hit for you. You might be cackling and laughing, and this might be the exact comedy that you really like. But I'll just say, for, like, the general audience, and for me, who, I'm gonna put myself out there and say, hey, pretty high sense of humor, pretty low bar to make me laugh, and this was even really below that, and this kind of really disappointing overall. Again, like I said, I had put together the list of anime I was gonna watch for this season, and Don't Hurt Me, My Healer, I was like, okay, this one looks kind of like some more recent anime that have come out. I was like, this one might actually hit with me, but based on all the other really great anime this season, when having to trim it down to just 10 that we're going to be covering on the channel, this one just didn't make the cut. And after watching it, I feel really good that it really didn't make the cut. Now, again, like I said, this video is just, should you watch it? The answer is no. I don't think the comedy is. I think the studio and the creator, and based on this, maybe the source material is based off of, is really going for comedy, and the comedy might really work in a manga form when you can go through different panels and stuff, and it might really resonate and be funny. But I think when it's translated to the screen, I just simply think it doesn't work. And all the bear stuff, I felt like the bear stuff was just way too long. I felt like it was like it ended up extending out the whole episode. Even at the end, they ended up going back to the bear's house to say, please let us back in. Like, I think those things all intended to be funny, and if it was done better, maybe it would have been. I just felt like the bear stuff was just way too long. It was just way too drawn out, and none of it hit for me. Carla's personality, again, it's intended to be dumb and funny at the same time, and it just wasn't either of those things either. It's just overall really disappointing. Again, doesn't mean that you don't like it. If you watched it and you really resonated with it, it's your anime of the year. That's awesome. You know, put down, you know, why you don't agree with me in the comments below. That's all really cool. But if you are watching this video and you're trying to determine if you should give it a watch, or if you watched it, you should continue watching it, I'm going to say right now, there is too many really great, and I mean really, really great anime that a 5 or 6 out of 10 anime that's going for something, it's going for one thing, which is to be funny, and it's just not, is just not worth your time. This is just one that I think you including myself, we just all just let it just play out, and we go back, and when we're desperate and we have nothing else to watch, we give this one a watch, we binge it, and we say, well, that wasn't a great experience, and we just kind of, we call it a day right then and there. So those are my final thoughts on Don't Hurt Me, My Healer. I'm going to say don't watch it. Don't waste your time on it. It's cute. It should be funny, but it's not. So those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below. Let me know if you're going to decide to watch it in the comments down below. I appreciate you guys joining me for another anime video. And for really good anime that launched this weekend, like 𝐒𝐿𝐴, go ahead and check that one out. I have my review up there. And for Spy Family, that one's right below it. Those are two really great anime that definitely deserve your time. So go check out our first episode reviews there, and we'll see you on the next video. Peace.